Hello everyone, it is Jayden and welcome to The Alpha, the show where we talk about the hottest topics in pop culture and sports. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button on the video, and if you enjoy my commentary and myself truly as always, be sure to tap that subscribe button and to hit that notification bell to get notified when all my videos go live. I love you guys so much. Peace, love, and positivity always, y'all. See ya. This game was a rough watch. I thought it was going to be the best game of the weekend. Micah Parsons debut with the Packers. He actually played. How was the Lions going to look? But let's just get to this game. Let's just get to the Packers. And I don't want to say this because my former players on that team. But the Packers look like the best team in the NFC. They look like the bona fide best team in the NFC yesterday. And they look like they could arguably have the best defense in the league right now. I know I can say from the NFC contenders, I think they have the best defense. And maybe the Chargers in the AFC might have a better defense, but they have a top 5 defense in the league. Now with the addition of Micah Parsons. Because we saw every time Jared Goff dropped back on a big third down or any type of big down, and Micah Parsons was on that field, Micah Parsons was in that backfield in some way, form, or fashion, causing Jared Goff to not play like Jared Goff is used to playing. But let's just get to the offense. The offense looked decent. They didn't knock my socks off, but they have great weapons. They are young. And with the team as a collective, when you think about the defense, how good they are, the Packers could win the Super Bowl this year. They can. All they need to count on is number 10 showing up on Sunday, that given day. It's Jordan Love. Jordan Love has the keys to the Ferrari. He is set up for success. He has a phenomenal team. Phenomenal team. It is his time. This is the Packers' year. After what I've seen this weekend in the NFC, granted, we got to wait and see how the Vikings look tonight and the Bears. I'm very high on the Bears this year. But I think the Packers look better than the Eagles. They look better than the Commanders. They look like their best team in their division. They're definitely better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who else am I missing? I don't think I'm in the NFC West. They look better than the Rams or the 49ers. The 49ers are only going to make the playoffs this year because they have a very easy schedule. But the door is wide open for them. I think when they play Philly, because they're going to play Philly, if that Philadelphia team that showed up on Thursday night plays this Packers team that played yesterday, I think the Packers are going to wipe the floor with them. Because they're young, they have Micah Parsons, they have pass rushers, they are fast. They're not going to allow what Dallas did with Jalen Hurts, allow him to run the ball the way he did. They're going to make Jalen Hurts drop back and throw that ball. So the Philadelphia Eagles better figure it out with their offense regarding how they only had 7 targets with their wide receivers the whole game. So they got to get that together. But the way this team played yesterday, they are easily the best team in the NFC. They are a top 3 team in the NFL right now, in my opinion. The sky is the limit for this team. The sky is the limit for the offense. The offense was not cracking on all cylinders yesterday. They did not run the ball very well. Josh Jacobs, 19 carries for 66 yards, only averaged 3.5 yards per rush. They only averaged 3.1 yards per rush as a team. But offensively throwing the ball, Jordan Love was 16 for 22, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. As a collective, wide receiver core, they averaged 11.8 yards per reception. That is something specifically with the run game is something I think the Packers are going to be able to fix because they have a good offensive line. Not great. They have a good offensive line, and they have Josh Jacobs running the ball. So, and plus, they had a lot of success running the ball last year. So I think is something that the Packers can get better at. And let's just get to the Micah Parsons part of it. When the Packers were literally a piece away, Micah Parsons was that piece. Every time Micah Parsons was on the field, he made some type of big play. He forced a big play. In that second half, I can't remember what. I think the score was 7-17, maybe, or was it 0-7? I think it was 7-17, or 3-17, one or two. And I know you guys remember the play if you watched the game. Micah Parsons, third down, comes onto the field, inside swim move, already in the backfield, forces Jared Goff to have to throw the ball early, and he throws a pick to number 33 on the Packers side of the field. They were fixing to get ready to score a touchdown. Micah Parsons fit absolutely phenomenal. I don't have the stats. I think they showed that they had like a big graphic of how productive Micah Parsons was when he was on the field. And it was on First Things First, but the numbers that they showed were phenomenal. I mean, Micah Parsons was a huge difference maker yesterday for the Packers. And his addition, because they were already good at stopping the run. They always just needed that pass rusher. They got him because Micah Parsons didn't, I even went back and looked at the plays that he was active in the run game. He was non-existent in the run game, but everybody else on the defensive line was already had everything handled. Micah Parsons didn't have to do anything. So the Packers, I don't say this with love at all. I wish the Packers sucked. But it was hard to come out of that game yesterday and not say that they are the best team in the NFC right now. Not by a landslide, but from the performances we got this weekend, specifically with everybody thinking the Eagles had that top spot, it was hard to come away from that game and think that the Packers is the best team in the NFC. We're just going to have to wait and see what the Bears and the Vikings look tonight, but I don't think they're going to look nowhere near as good as the Packers. I just don't. Now let's move on to the Lions. I called this. I said it during my picks. Everybody was high on the Lions this year. And this game, for me, was a lot about the Lions. Losing both Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, I felt like was going to hurt the Detroit Lions. Because Dan Campbell, as much as he talks, biting kneecaps and all, he doesn't do anything. He's just a motivator and a game manager. He does nothing with the X's and O's for this football team. That was Ben Johnson and that was Aaron Glenn. Jared Goff yesterday, he looked like he missed Ben Johnson very, very much. Jared Goff was 31 for 39, 225 yards. Granted, completion percentage was very high. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But everything he threw was dink and dunk. I don't even vividly remember Jared Goff throwing a ball 15, 20 yards down the field. I don't know if it had to do with the play calling, route concepts, or what. Nothing looked good. From a wide receiver standpoint, 4 catches for Amon-Ra for 45 yards. Stan Laporta, 6 for 79. It's just the offense didn't look like the offense we know and love from the Detroit Lions because they were the Sonic and Knuckles led offense. Run the ball, set up the pass. Sonic and Knuckles were non-existent yesterday. They could not run the football at all. David Montgomery had 11 carries for 25 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 9 carries for 19 yards. That is super uncharacteristic for a Detroit Lions team for the last couple of years who have lived off of running the football. Now, a lot of that has to go with that interior line. I think it was the center they had. He just retired. And then they lost a couple of key pieces on the offensive line at the right guard and left guard position. So that was a big question mark and another reason why I did not buy the Detroit Lions hype. Because that was their identity on offense. And they don't have that. Now, I know Tony Romo and the commentators are like, hey, they trust in these new guys and they think they're going to develop. They need to develop very fast because they didn't look good at all. They could not run the ball. Not one iota. Jared Goff did not have time to throw. They could not protect them. If they cannot protect Jared Goff, because Jared Goff, I think he got sacked 6 times. He got sacked 4 times. If you let Jared Goff get sacked that much and give Jared Goff no time to throw the ball, and if you don't get Jared Goff a comfortable pocket to throw from, you're going to get this performance is going to be here to stay. So they got to be able to generate some type of protection in the pass game. They got to be able to dial up some key blocks in the run game, because the way they looked offensively yesterday, it is not going to be good enough. And don't even get me started with the defense. Granted, the defense, they missed some big key turnovers, specifically the one with Brian Branch. I think the score at the time was 7-16, and Brian Branch, got pressure on Jordan Love. Jordan Love scrambles out. Brian Branch makes a leaping interception, and Brian Branch actually took it back for a pick 6, but it got called back because of a penalty, which is something the Lions had a lot of issues with yesterday. Not very disciplined when it comes to penalties yesterday. And that's a big play that got called back for them. But yesterday, they weren't good. They could not generate pressure on Jordan Love at all, forcing them to have to cover a long time, and that's what led to a lot of those penalties. And something that we might have to think about with the Lions as well. There's unless Miss Alan McNeil, he's able to come back in the nose guard position and be able to, generate some pass rush. If the Rodriguez kid comes back at the linebacker position and is able to, help out with some sideline to sideline speed, it is very hard to see the Lions ever get to the promised land like they wanted to and win a Super Bowl, because of the fact that you don't have your 2 key coordinators who were part of the reason why you was able to pull a whole 360 on the Detroit Lions as a whole with Dan Campbell and revolutionize the team into being relevant and to being a Super Bowl contender. Literally, were in the NFC Championship and would have won the NFC Championship and went to the Super Bowl if they did not run away from their identity and run the football. But the way this team looks now, and with your own division and the way your own division looks, it is hard to see the Lions ever getting back to the Super Bowl. Their Super Bowl window might be closed. Look, we're not going to, if I'm a Lions fan, I'm not going to panic just yet. You want to wait and see if the interior offensive line gets better, and wait and see if they can do something better about the defense. But with the team I watched yesterday, and Nick Wright said it best, there were 5 teams that were in the playoffs last year that were considered Super Bowl contenders. Out of those 5, the Lions look like the worst one the whole weekend. And I absolutely agree with them. But the Lions may be in trouble. And I know my graphic says it. My lower third says it. Are the Lions in trouble? I absolutely do think they are in trouble. And Micah Parsons and the Packers, they look like they are ultimately going to be the real deal. But that is all I have to say about that, ladies and gentlemen. What do you guys think? I want to know all of your comments down below.